Yes, we will have our differences, but let us always remember, what unites us far outweighs whatever divides us. There are no Republicans, no Democrats, just Americans.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Good evening, and thank you so much for tuning in to the premiere of Faith in America Today on True Chat, broadcasting from Studio 2A in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm your host, Tim Weller.
And I'm Jim Lillibridge, and we're happy to have with us two special guests.
Hi, I'm Allie Matuzik. I'm currently a student at Xavier University. I'm studying occupational therapy and psychology as well. And yeah, that's about me.
I'm Imam Ismail Chartier. I'm the Imam of the Clifton Mosque here in beautiful Cincinnati. From New York, that's about it.
And we're so happy to have both of them with us today. I'm going to take just a second to kind of lay out what Faith in America is about. And so our mission is that Faith in America Today seeks to restore hope and patriotism by suppressing polarization. We will rise above and journey beyond prejudice to help you become your best self and to help America shine its light on the values of faith, freedom, understanding, and cooperation. Obviously, it's a pretty big, grand project, we like to call it. But we're going to begin right away by tackling it the best we can. It's just a bunch of everyday Americans. We're not professional political pundits. We're not a bunch of PhD psychologists that are diving into the psyche of it all, but we're doing the best we can to understand the problems, explore the problems, and together explore the solutions. So I'm going to toss it off right away to Ismail to talk about, when he and I were talking about polarization a few days ago, he kind of refers to it as dehumanization. So Ismail, tell us what you mean by dehumanization.
I think over the last 18 months of the political campaign that we just went through, both sides were dehumanized, meaning that the humanity was taken away from us. We were always seen as the other. The right was dehumanized by the left. The left was dehumanized by the right. Christians were dehumanized by Muslims. Muslims were dehumanized by Christians. Atheists were dehumanized. Millennials were dehumanized. All of us lost the sacredness of humanity over the last 18 months. And so that's why I think is the big problem of division in America, is that we don't see each other as neighbors. We don't see each other as people anymore. We see each other as the other, the Republican, the Democrat, the Christian, the Jew, the Muslim, the Buddhist, the Hindu. We don't see each other as people anymore.
Allie and Jim, what are your reactions to Ismail's thoughts on dehumanization?
Well, I would definitely agree with what you're saying. I think there's a lot of stereotyping in regards to, especially in the election. There are people who had these labels that weren't necessarily seen as the good or as different opinions, but simply just as the wrong or the enemy.
Yes, and absolutely. Your comments there, Ismail, are a reminder. I think one of the reasons why Tim and I felt called to engage and start this show, Faith in America Today, because we see that occurring, what appears to be more and more all the time, every day, whether you're in this grocery store, whether you're at the bank, whether you're in the post office, whether you're at your church, synagogue, or mosque, wherever it seems like continually we hear stories or testimonies or witness to the fact that if you don't look, smell, or act like me, then I'm going to stay away from you. And that is an issue and a problem we have in America today.
And it's getting worse all the time. So that's what the show is about, is both dehumanization and polarization. And a big part of what we're going to do today is I'm going to ask Allie and Ismail to each share two topics, and Pastor Jim to share one topic or story or example of the types of things that are dividing America. And we're going to kick that off with Jim talking about the red states and the blue states, the red and the blue political divide.
So as I begin talking about the red and blue political divide, I'm going to kind of feed off of what Ismail just shared, and I'm going to begin by talking a little bit about that finger pointing that I see going on all the time. Maybe you have observed similar finger pointing. There seems to be a lot of that occurring in all walks of life in our society today. Now, as already kind of inferred, we could hear it in the tone of the comments made by presidential candidates during our recent presidential election. Candidates voicing their contempt for the other side. You can hear it in the tone of the fight gearing up now between the red and the blue, between Republicans and Democrats over who will fill the now vacant seat of our Supreme Court. The tone is largely one of finger jabbing, a fingerful of anger, fear, and pride. On one side, there are those that love to point the finger. At the left, they claim that a move towards a progressive agenda is precisely what's wrong with America today. The left, they say, is bent on cutting off our nation's life from its spiritual foundations and tilting our culture toward moral collapse. They're trying to erase our national heritage. The left is devoted to divorcing America from the God of the Bible so they can do whatever they want. God save America from these godless humanists, they say. On the other extreme are those who love to point their finger at the right. They portray conservatives as the most dangerous influence in America at present. The right just wants to control the minds and behaviors of others. They function to tear down the constitutional principle of church-state separation while further institutionalizing racism, sexism, homophobia, and xenophobia. The right thinks everyone but themselves are wrong. Please, somebody, save America from these fanatical fundamentalists, they cry. This finger pointing, of course, serves its purpose. It makes its adherents feel very righteous. It provides great fodder for talk radio and TV. But there is a downside. As long as this tone of anger, fear, and pride dominates the moral and political discourse, as long as this notion prevails that there is a vast left or right wing conspiracy afoot, and those who don't see life as we do or vote as we do are either ignorant or malicious, we will be these United States in name only. We will see citizens, politicians, and churches alike increasingly polarized into stone-throwing camps on the right or the left. We will lack the common cause and combined intelligence required to make lasting progress on the great issues that are of vital concern to both humanity and God Almighty. But let's not forget that it is important that we watch the news, that we listen to our favorite talk radio programs, make educated decisions in the voting booth, and stand firm on spiritual values. However, we still need to watch out for that finger pointing. When we point fingers, people always get hurt. And besides, when we point fingers at people, let's not forget we always have three pointing back at us. So as far as this person of faith is concerned, I don't own a gospel gun. I'm not interested in pointing a gun at anyone. Instead, I'd rather walk with humility and direct myself and others to the one who's above all and over all, God Himself, who will help to bring us together so that we might truly live together as these United States of America.
We're going to holster that gospel gun, right?
There you go.
Good,
that's right.
Good place for it. Stick it down here. Do we all agree that what Jim has basically said is that everybody on the alt-right is correct and everybody else is wrong? Is that what he... No, seriously, Ali and Ismail, thoughts about Jim's finger-pointing theology?
I would definitely agree with everything that you're saying. I mean, a lot of people sort of everyone believes that they are the good guy in what they are fighting for. And so it's very difficult to then tell someone that they are wrong or that they are misguided, because everyone sees themselves as doing the good. And so I think it's very hard that when you do point the finger and do stereotype another individual, that it then causes more rift and more divide.
Ismail?
My grandmother was from Ireland, from Belfast, and she could not read or write, but she would always say, even the most ignorant man knows when he points his finger at someone, that his fingers are pointing back at him. So I agree 100%. We need to look at ourselves. It's a spiritual crisis that we're dealing with in this division. It's a spiritual crisis, not one of political discord, but one of spiritual love of God, love of our neighbors.
Amen to that. Thank you, Pastor Jim and Ali and Ismail. But we're going to take a brief break here for me to share with you that episodes of Faith in America Today will be available on Thursdays by 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And to let you know that Faith in America Today is really proud to be a True Chat network show. True Chat's mission is to be the mortal enemy of speculation, innuendo, and stagnation. We will champion informed opinions and fresh ideas. True Chat will prove that media can be trusted, relied on, and responsible. We won't just join the media elite because we're setting a new standard, a higher standard than True Chat standard. And to ensure that this show maintains the highest possible ethical standards, we make it easy for you to voice any concerns with today's episode by emailing ethics@truechat.org. That's ethics@truechat.org. So we'll return to our discussion going on with kind of top stories, issues, concerns about polarization, what's dividing our people, and we give it to Ali.
Thank you. So as a millennial, I do think that one of the issues that divides America is faith versus science. And so sort of, again, like what Jim touched on is like moving forward and like being able to use the technological advancements and the advancements in science that we've created to better our use. So one of the issues that I do see is the issue of global warming. It's obviously a very huge issue. It affects every single one of us on the planet of this earth. It can destroy our environment.
That's just a bunch of left-wing poppycock, isn't it?
I'm sure there are some people out there that believe that, definitely. But at the same time, it is a serious issue that we are facing. And to go along with that, another one of the issues that we face is, say, stem cell research or doctor-assisted suicide. Like, a lot of these issues that are brought up are all really interrelated and connected. So because of global warming, there are more harmful chemicals in the products that we choose to eat and fill our bodies with that therefore harm us and create diseases in our own sense, such as cancer. And so further advancements in science allow us to treat the cancer, but from those there are objections from the faith aspect as well. So everything is interconnected, everything is important, but at the same time, no matter what argument or statement that you have, there will be someone who disagrees with it. So.
Well, let me just ask, I mean, you millennials, don't you understand that this whole climate change thing, I mean, it's really not going to have any effect on anything for like another 3 or 4 million years, right?
Just how people thought cigarettes didn't affect your body.
Ismail, you've got a couple of polarizing issues for us as well.
And mine are also interrelated, I believe so. The first one is the dehumanization of the other, which we talked about in brief. And then the second one is this perceived loss of religious freedom. So everyone in America, regardless of the faith practice, whether they're an anti-theist or an atheist, all the way to Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever the main faith tradition they come from, there seems to be this argument that we're losing our rights as religious people in this country, which I think is perceived. I don't think there's a war on Christmas. I don't think there's a war on Ramadan. I don't think there's a war on these kind of things. I think the language is used to be more divisive and to dehumanize the other religions. So I think they're interrelated. I think all of these topics are interrelated, actually. I love your environmental thing, by the way. I think it's one of the most important things we can be talking about in this time.
But you understand that the climate's going to be fine for another 3 or 4 million years, right? I'm just representing part of the alt-right, I guess. No, so what you're hearing here, audience, is what you're going to be hearing more about on upcoming episodes. Essentially, what we've heard from our three panelists today is Pastor Jim talking about the finger pointing, the red and blue divide, Allie talking about basically science versus faith, doctor-assisted suicide, stem cell research, global warming, and Ishmael talking about dehumanization and the perceived decrease in religious freedoms. These are all key issues that are dividing us in this country. So now you understand these are the sorts of things, matter of fact, these 5 issues are things specifically that we will be talking about on upcoming episodes. We also want to invite you, our audience, to contact us on our social media sites, but the easiest way to get started is to go to faithinamerica.today. No .org, no .com, no .net, just faithinamerica.today. Connect with us via social media or right there on the site. Let us know what you think about the show, but especially let us know what you want to hear us talking about. Let us know what your points of view are on some of these topics that we've been discussing today. So what we want to do now is just tell you that hopefully everyone out there understands this is what we call a grand project. If we can all agree that one of the biggest things that's threatening our country are these divides, then hopefully you can understand why we're going to ask for your support. While you're there at faithinamerica.today, please click that donate button. It doesn't matter whether you give us $5, $500, $10, it doesn't matter. But think about, wouldn't you like to support this mission to try to help everyone in America understand each other a little bit better, get along a little bit better? And Pastor Jim, I'll pass it to you and see if you have anything to add to why folks should donate or consider giving a gift.
Well, as you've heard and hopefully observed a little bit already, the purpose of Faith in America today is to address the polarization that takes place in our culture in so many different areas, whether it's culturally, politically, socially, whether it's spiritual in nature. There are so many different divides. And so what we want to do is to build a bridge to get us talking about these different topics so that we don't just alienate people if they disagree with us, but instead might we just build a bridge of understanding, seeking first to understand, then to be understood. That's what this is all about. And so to help us keep this going, your help, your donations will help to make that happen, because we believe the time to talk about these things is now. And that's what we want to do.
And if I'll just add to that, let you know that your donation is tax deductible, because Faith in America is part of a nonprofit foundation called GrandWorks. And so when you click that donate button, you'll recognize that it is a fully tax deductible donation. And also just to share with you that nobody's ever going to get rich off of Faith in America. This all has to do with production costs, publishing costs, and so forth. True Chat, I'm sure, would be happy to do Faith in America for us for free, but it does cost money to produce and publish shows. So that's where all of your money goes. Now, let's move right on to kind of setting up the next episode, what you're going to see when you tune in next week. We're going to go right on with this finger pointing and red and blue divide. And I'm going to give you an example of what we're going to be talking about by quoting from a Princeton University article that was written November 17th of this year, the Woodrow Wilson School of Public and International Affairs, where they said political polarization is the worst it's been since the Civil War, if you can believe it. How did we get here? How have America's ideologies shifted so much over the past 4 decades? What forces underlie the growing divide between Republicans and Democrats? And how has social media and other media and sources of information widened that gap? That's all part of what we're going to be talking about on the next episode. But what's really interesting on the next episode, and we hope you can all get excited about hearing about this, we're going to talk about solutions that you find in the purple Bible and the purple Quran. And I'm going to ask Allie to give us sort of a lighthearted example of that red and blue divide.
All right, thank you. Well, there is a very apparent divide between the two political parties, but there. So this lifelong Republican supporter, he was on his deathbed, and the joke goes that he suddenly announced to his friends and his colleagues that he was going to switch over and become a Democrat.
A Democrat.
And he was very dead set on this, identifying as a Democrat and as part of the Democratic political party.
Right before he dies.
Right on his deathbed, and his friends were so confused, like concerned about what his mental state was, if he was suffering from something else. But his response was that he would rather die as a Democrat than he would as a Republican.
Better to get rid of one of them than one of us. I think she was talking about my dad, by the way. Ishmael, let me ask you, could you give us just a little brief preview of something from the Quran regarding this purple Quran, purple Bible business that you'll be talking about more next week?
I think I'll be talking about in the Quran where it says al-mu'min al-ikhwa, that believers.
Oh yeah,
that believers are brothers and sisters. And it also talks about in the Quran that the closest to us in faith are Christians. And that if we kill one of humanity, we've killed all of humanity. And if we've saved one in humanity, we've saved all of humanity. So this kind of gives the idea that we're not blue or red, we're purple. It's about being somewhere in the middle, saving humanity.
Great. Well, I can't thank our guests enough, Pastor Jim and Allie and Ismail. I think it's been a great first discussion, a great premiere episode. We've got great topics for the upcoming episodes. But I need to close with a reminder that if you haven't already, make sure you download TrueChat's mobile app. You can connect with us on social media right in the app or on our website, truechat.org. That's TRUECHAT.org. TrueChat's network offers a great lineup of shows on sports, politics, entertainment, business, lifestyle, and more. And by the way, I listen to all of them. I can personally endorse every show on TrueChat. You should check them out. So explore what the network has to offer. And please remember to join our conversation, Faith in America Today conversation. Go to faithinamerica.today and share your comments. Let us know what you want us to talk about. You can send us a little short video if you want, and you may be on the show at some point. And while you're there, please consider helping us continue this mission by making a donation. It doesn't matter what you give, but you'll know that you're helping us explore ways to get beyond hate and discover the possibilities in a world where we all get along a little bit better, like old Jerusalem days. Let's explore those possibilities and see if we can provide that hope to America. For Faith in America Today on TrueChat, broadcasting from Studio 2A in Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm your host, Tim Weller.
I'm Jim Lellabridge.
I'm Allie Matuzek.
I'm Ismail Chartier.
Thank you very much for joining us on the premiere episode, and we'll see you next time on Faith in America Today. Be the change.